Oh man, this is just a nightmare for Protoss. Too far. Oh, beautiful! Hey there guys, Rabbit here, back with another Starcraft Broodwar laddercast. Today we have some Protoss versus Terran action from the NWL League. This is a C Rank game between Fridgeraider, who is the magenta Protoss, and Fonger, who is the yellow Terran. We are on, I want to say Polypoid. I was dumb enough not to check the map. It's either Polypoid or it's Vermeer. We shall know very shortly. Alright, so I'm quite excited to bring you this game. If you enjoy Starcraft Broodwar content, I'm here twice a week, so please do like the video, subscribe, and if you do, you will never run into another spider mine. Alrighty, so let's see what sort of openings we get today. Fridgeraider is a player I know from the Starcraft Broodwar community. He's very active in a lot of people's Twitches and is just a very cool guy, contributes a lot to the community, so I'm very, very happy to bring his games to you. And Fonger is a Terran player who I practice with sometimes. He always beats the crap out of me, so for that reason I am very unbiasedly rooting for Fridgeraider. Okay, so let's get into the games. Alright, so Fridge is quite a standard player in terms of his style, as I've come to know him, so he's just going with a standard 13-core open. I'm going to slow it down slightly to see. It looks like a standard barracks wall on the Terran side as well. Alright, so our first goon should be on the way, although we've gone range then goon. It's a slight variation. It really just depends on how much early pressure you're expecting from your Terran opponent. Ooh, looks like a 2-fac. Okay, exciting early start here today. But by the way, we are recording live on Twitch today. So recording a YouTube style video on Twitch. Just to give the community of the NWL opportunity to watch the recordings live. If you ever want to come check me out live, you can follow me on Twitch. The link is below. And yeah, that'll be my last plug. Let's see the action. Okay, so we've done a 23 Nexus expansion as Protoss. We have one goon chilled over here, and he would have identified at this time 4 minutes and 30 seconds. There is no expansion, and therefore it is time to be concerned. Okay, so a little bit of micro. Oh, he took a shot from a tank. You don't want to do that. So in this scenario as Protoss, it's good if you are skilled enough to pip or take pot shots on the Marines as you retreat, but not get shot by the tanks. So it's just that's a difficult thing to get right, but it will benefit you because then when the Terran forces arrive, they will be a little bit weaker. Okay, so this is a 3 tank, 3 marine, and then vulture rally push. It should arrive at 5 minutes and 30 seconds, or is it 5 minutes and 50 seconds? Somewhere between 5.5 and 6 minutes is the timing. I think obviously because I've now said it's 5.5 minutes and the clock's about to hit that, it's probably closer to the 6-minute mark, but this is fairly conventional in terms of a 2-fac rush. The wall of pylons is here. The goons are going forward to pick off the SCV. Now they're pulling back. Question now will be, will he lose this Nexus? Will he be able to hold? It's 2 gate obs, which is a nice recipe actually to be able to hold this. The challenge is you usually have 1 fewer goon than you would ideally like. It's easiest to hold a 2-fac rush with 6 dragoons. When this rush started, he had 4. He had 2 coming down though. There are vultures here that are still fighting and laying mines. Oh man, this is just a nightmare for Protoss. 2-fac just sucks. I almost die to it all the time. Okay, so does he have an observer on the way? Yes, he does. Okay, so that's going to help pick off the mines. The mines are your biggest enemy. People think it's the tanks, it's not. It's the mines that basically splash across all of your units that's going to kill you. Terran does have the sort of onus to do a lot of damage. If they push forward with this, okay, so he's moving out with 4 goons. This tank is low, this tank is full, this tank is quite low. If he targets it down, This last tank will die. It's only the mine. Oh, the mine killed his SCV and not the goon. That was a little bit lucky for Fridge. He's laid more mines here. This is very, very good play by Fonger. It's a really good 2-fact. This building here, this little pylon, is doing such valuable work because it just blocked that vulture from getting in. For new Protoss players learning the game, walling in against vulture harassment can be incredibly beneficial, and that's what happened here. So Fridge, I think, is in a pretty good spot. He's even on workers, but he's on 3-gate obs production. He's kept his workers going. He's got 2 Nexuses cooking, and our Terran friend is on 1 base. And so this is why, if you were asking yourself, well, why doesn't Terran just 2-fac every game? The reason for that is if Protosses hold it and hold it well, like Fridge did there in my opinion, then they are ahead quite substantially. Because he's now got an oversaturated base with 30 SCVs on it, a command center that has just started and is in a position where he can do nothing about this third. He cannot push out to punish because Fridge just has too many goons and too much production. So I like this game for Fridge just because he managed to hold the early pressure. So well done to our Protoss player for holding the 2-fac and moving us into a later game. Interesting to see what Terran has scouted here to initiate the building of the turret, or if that's just something he does as a standard sort of risk management strategy. We just, as we all know, we can see it's just 3-gate obs for now. I'll be interested to see the tech tree if he progresses to an arbiter build. We are on polypoid, by the way, so lucky guess, I guess. So let's see what build transitions we have. Sending in another observer. I think now the reason for the turret is to block the observer. Something that I see a lot of Terrans don't do. Because what Protoss wants to do is they want to camp their observer here for the entire game to know how many factories Terran is on and whether Terran is going to do a 2-base push off of 5 factories or 6 factories, or if Terran is going to position to take a 3rd base. Because Terran has 2-fact, it is less likely that they're going to do a 2-base push because they probably just lose. They're kind of now forced to try and draw the game out into a macro game, turtle up, and hope that Protoss trades badly. That's basically the only way Terran comes back and wins this game. Okay, so a nicely walled off forge with a pylon here. I think you'll see perhaps a little bit later on, or now already, a cannon is in place, so this quite nicely blocks vulture harassment, and it's fairly economically done as well, so that's good. 44 workers from Fridge. He's now moving up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gate production. Don't know what this is. And the Templar Archives. Okay, so potentially moving into an arbiter tree. It's got the 2 gases running. I'll be very curious to see when or if he looks to take a 4th. I think he's probably in a position where he could already afford to do so. But because of the turret placement being really good by Terran, it's very difficult for Fridge to actually get some vision of what Terran is doing. I would maybe move my... Okay, so his observers are here scouting the natural 3rd. Maybe move this observer here just to be 100% sure he's not looking to sneak. And maybe that's why he's moving that one there now. Okay, so a quiet-ish phase in the game. I think the only critique I would have of Fridge is he stopped building workers. I think he needs a fair few more. Okay, starting again. Obviously, you heard me. Good boy. Okay, so this is a sign, if Fridge sees this, that Terran is starting to position to take another base. It's the term that I think it's referred to, although I could be incorrect, is leapfrogging. So you move another line of tank from the most farthest back position forward to slowly position yourself to take another base, and so that any units that would pressure that would be in range of the first line of tanks, and if they respond to attack that first line, the second line would shoot them, and so on and so on. Okay, so Fridge is starting to position himself to take a 4th. I think taking the 4th away from the Protoss, in other words, not away from the Terran, sorry, in other words, not here, but here is a good decision. And identifying that Terran are not looking to push at this stage, but to turtle, has triggered him to make this decision. So please throw it down and make me look like a smart caster. One. Okay, wait, you don't have the money. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh man. Alright, maybe tomorrow will be my lucky day. Doesn't seem to be today. Okay, so this 2-fac has made Fonger reluctant to go out and take his third, and so it is costing him a lot, because I think he has enough units he would be able to hold, but I think the hesitation comes from not being sure whether he has quite enough. I haven't heard any scans. Scanner's got some energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But if you scan the main and you count 9 gateways, I can understand the hesitation. But he's just decided, stuff it. I'm moving down on 2 bases again. And we can see that Fridge is flanking this from 2 sides. This could come here, this could come here. He's moving out though. I think Fridge would do well to position here and here. This is actually a nice spot for Protoss to take this fight. And the observer's right here. There's no threats, there's no mines. You can see there's no mines around. Ah, some straggling units have split off here. I think there's a chance to surround. Here we come. From this side we're picking off tanks, from this side we're picking off vultures. This fight's going well for Fridge. Oh, he's picking off a huge chunk of the Terran tank count. But I think Terran's going to hold on here. Fridge might do well to pull back. Let's even get a storm off. Oh, beautiful. I don't think there's energy for another one. Yes, there is. Okay, so this is a high Templar based strategy. Fridge has got more units. Terran needs to pull back. Terran needs to pull back. I think it's a mistake. This is a nice wall as well, making it hard for vultures to harass. Okay, so good mine drag. Oh, beautiful. Got those tanks. I think Terran overextended here. The initial attack was alright. It was a decent exchange. But this is a massive overextension. And behind this, he hasn't even expanded. So there's been no economic profit from this attack. Just an exchange that Protoss won. In terms of, you just look at it purely from a monetary point of view. And this base is now up. Fridge just needs to do a little bit of a worker transfer, and then we'll be good to go. Where is your third, sir? There it comes. Okay, so the third is in play, but if Terran wants this third to survive, he is going to have to stay put, which means he has surrendered map control entirely to the Protoss player. The Protoss player would do well now to take a 5th base, if he was feeling comfortable enough to do that, to go up to about 16 gateways and to just pump units non-stop. I don't think Terran will be able to stop the overwhelming force of a 5-base 16 gate Protoss. With upgrades on the way would be 1-1. Fridge could consider a second forge at this stage, doesn't have one, just to maybe push with 2-1. But that's not that important. What's more important is the macro capacity. He's got the worker count of 60. He could saturate that beautifully across 5 bases. And I think he would smash the Terran. But let's see let's see how it goes. So it's consolidating nicely. I think he does understand that he's in the lead. It's good saturation on this base. He's got 1, 2, yeah, he's got everybody he needs on gas there. The Arbiter has arrived. Okay, so we've got an Arbiter Templar ground-based strategy, very, very common in this matchup. Nice mine placement here. So Terran understands where his army needs to be, and he's got the mines on both sides to know where Terran would be, so where Protoss would be coming from first of all, and how much Protoss is on the way. And I hear some more mines being laid for that exact reason. The further down they lay, the more information he has. So this is very good vision from the Terran. I would like to see, there is one, an observer with this army. And if Fridge does have idle or extra APM, he could be picking off some of these mines to reduce the vision of the Terran player. Okay, so here we go, we're moving in. What are we going to do? Well, we're nearly at 200, so I expect what we're going to do is we're just going to move in from 2 angles, or maybe 1. Okay, so he's sieging up. It's the death sound, or the blue goo machine. That's another one to call that. So let's see how we go. Okay, so this is a very entrenched position. You're going to need an overwhelming amount. I think the rule of thumb I learned is if Terran is on 140, a maxed out Protoss cannot break them. The magic number to hold a maxed out gateway push is 140. Let's see if this is true. I think Fridge is actually deciding better of this. Until he can maybe stasis. Or is he going to recall? I haven't been monitoring the production tab whether he's researched recall yet. But that might be another option. I don't think attacking in here is viable. I think he's just going to throw away his lead. Oh, some straggled dragoons. So instead of attacking, he is taking a 5th base. And he's going to do something with this arbiter. That's my suspicion. I hear more dying units. This must just be bad rallies, or that was maybe a scouting expedition. Yeah, okay, I'll give Fridge credit there for scouting. To check that what was happening. And now this is also a scouting expedition. And potentially Protoss setting up to take all 3 other mains, or all 3 mains in the game. That will make Terran's life very, very difficult if Protoss has all the mains. Yeah, so we're basically just moving up and down. Terran knows they can't move out. If they do, they lose this base. This one's getting a little bit low and this one's gone, so he doesn't have the economic luxury of moving out his army at this point. A couple of just random mines over here. Okay, so he's expanding naked here because I think he feels that that Terran is unlikely to move out the pressure. This clustering of units tells me it's recall. He's just starting to research it now. Alright, so Rabbit's prediction. We're going to see a big recall into the main. And it will be at a time where Terran moves out, which is about to happen. Terran's consolidating his forces. He's building up his 4, 5, 6 control groups on his keyboard now. Sorting them all out. It's freaking hard to do, by the way. And now he's heading off to take this fight where Protoss actually wants to fight. Pick up the science vessel. Less detection on your arbiter. No EMP. Nicely done. This is a bit of a straggle. So you can pick these up because the fight is not all of Terran at one go. Fridge is moving in here beautifully. Moving back a bit now as well. I think he wants to draw Terran forward. And then you can pick the fights off in a more, shall we say, guerrilla fashion, as opposed to the entire army fighting at once. And then maybe do a recall. I've got to keep an eye on this arbiter. Another arbiter there. Well, that trade went okay. Although Fonger's only on 43 workers, so he's basically mainly army. Just curious to see, what is he trying to target? Is he trying to target this base, or is he trying to deny these expansions? Okay, so Fridge is now easily on 16 gates, so his replenishment rate is going to be very high. So Terran needs to do a lot of damage with this attack. It might have worked better for Terran not to push out. That is a very good stasis. And here come lots and lots and lots of zealots to wreck some tanks. That's a good stasis. That was nicely done. No, these fights have gone pretty well for Protoss. But it's still pretty close. 143 versus 100. Still mining. What's his reproduction rate? 11 ground units, 3 arbiters at a time. Does he have 3 stargates working? Good gracious, okay. And this arbiter's like, Lumi, I have a weapon. It's a very powerful cannon. I will shoot you 103 times and you will still be alive. But you can't see me. And a DT's coming here out of nowhere. Scan! He doesn't have scanners. Oh no, that's so annoying. Ah, now he sees it. Alright, Fridge knows his replenishment rate is so good, he can just throw units at this relentlessly until this tank count is virtually reset, and that I think is the plan. Oh, nice mind drag there. Okay, so I think Terran would ideally like to try and stabilize. The only yellow I see now on the map is mines, and these 3 vultures that were probably laying said mines. The rest of the yellow is 1 tank and a vulture, and another vulture, and a few more Goliaths and vultures, and then we have 2 add-ons on 6 fact production, so he can replenish at 2 tanks at a time, which is just not going to be enough. So I think Protoss, unless they make some sort of ridiculous type of mistake, is going to overwhelm and take this game. Now the problem is eventually he's going to be on 1 base, which is just not going to be decent enough in terms of saturation. He's not going to have the money to replenish his units. So methinks Protoss is grouping up, maybe for a recall, or maybe just for another consolidated attack, picking off 2 random units here that I think Terran could really use elsewhere, to be honest. Heading off this way. The Terran seems to be setting up to protect this base and hope that this base doesn't get too much attention. Be curious to see where Protoss comes in from, in other words, what angle. So he's chosen to come in from this side. Lots and lots of mines doing good work here, though there's plenty. Oh, there's a cracker of a stasis. Well done. Just getting all the tanks and the vultures, and then blocking the pathing as well for the reinforcement, which is making it tougher. There's a lot of dragoons here, which is the right unit that you want against the reinforcing vultures. And I think Fridge has got some workers to spare that he could transfer, but he's very busy, and has likely not seen that as of yet. I think he's just probably reproducing units out of these gateways like a madman, and then trying to rally them forward. Okay, so these units will become unfrozen shortly. Where is Fridge rallying his next clump of units? Okay, so there's plenty of opportunity to resaturate. This is where it is. This is basically where your Terran is. And this is basically... Ah! Bugger! I missed the recall. I had a feeling it would happen eventually. But this is spot on. It's the newest source of Terran income. And it's basically the only way that Terran gets back into this game is that they can get the space up and running. So this command center will be lifted off shortly. I don't think it's going to matter much because, well, I suppose the arbiters could shoot it. Come on, arbiters, do your stuff! Okay, so 4 hours later, this command center will survive. Okay, so Fridge has done a good job in taking a lot of bases. Hasn't had time to necessarily move his workers. Now when he does, they go into a freaking war zone. It's just unlucky. A lot of vultures here. I think they're going to try and pick on these bases. I think Terran knows he's pretty much done in this game. But if he is going to do something with these units and his army needs to do it now. Okay, I think these arbiters are going to get a kill. Can you believe it? Let's go. Who's taking the credit? Arnold the Arbiter. He wants the credit for this kill on the command center. We have to go. Sorry, they're taking too long. Alright, so 2 angles here to flank this. We'll pick it off, if not clean it up entirely. I think if that tank goes, yeah, he's going to tidy it up. Sending reinforcements, more zealots coming from the gateways, and I think this is GG. Fonger will fight to the end, sending down some more units. These units have arrived. They were either recalled or just simply walked around. I didn't know, I missed it. But now he's got units in the main. He's got nothing here anymore. He's sending his army back to try and deal with this. But there's just too much Protoss. He can just reinforce relentlessly. He has aggro arbiters that shoot with them, vicious cannons. No answer to those either. Yeah. GG. It's a solid game, an enjoyable PVT. I think a good illustration sometimes that although the 2-fac can win you a lot of games, it does also put you behind as Terran and give you a lot of hesitation to take your third. I think this is a simple macro win for Protoss. If you enjoyed the game, I cast Brood War twice a week. We'll see you soon.